Since the late 1970s, China has been on a path of peaceful development. This has been achieved through a combination of economic and diplomatic strategies that have allowed the country to become one of the world's most powerful nations. But before we address this notion, it is important to remember that China has a policy of non-interference in other countries' affairs. This means that China focuses on its own internal development and does not seek to interfere with other nations. I think that everyone would agree with me that the most significant example of this economic diplomatic strategy combination is China's entry into the World Trade Organization in 2001. This opened up access to global markets and increased investment from foreign countries. It also allowed China to benefit from international trade rules and regulations that had previously been unavailable to the country. Now, regionally, China's diplomacy is also quite effective. China hosts regular summits and, over the years, has signed free trade agreements that have helped to reduce tensions in the region and have promoted economic cooperation. There is, for example, the 2009 Free Trade Agreement with ASEAN countries, also the Treaty of Good Neighborliness and Friendly Cooperation with Russia that was renewed in June 2021, and also in 2015, the Free Trade Agreement with South Korea, which opened up new markets and improved economic ties between the two countries. Even before becoming the world's second largest economy, China has taken an active role in global affairs, seeking to use its influence to create a more peaceful and cooperative world. So not only does China have a seat at the table of the United Nations, the World Bank, the IMF, etc., but it also invests heavily around the world. An example of this is the 40 billion Silk Road Fund, which finances infrastructure projects that connect Asia, Europe, and Africa, and it's been doing so since 2014. Another one is the 100 billion Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, which provides loans for infrastructure projects throughout Asia, and has been doing so since 2016. But I would be remiss if I do not mention the most recent and perhaps the most historic accomplishment in China's economic and diplomatic development, the deal recently brokered by Chinese diplomat Wang Yi between Iran and Saudi Arabia. This agreement is a major breakthrough in the Middle East as it brings together these two countries that have been at odds for quite some time. Iran and Saudi Arabia are two of the most powerful nations in the Middle East, so by ending this conflict and by establishing diplomatic relations, the two nations will be able now to cooperate and address regional issues to ensure stability. The deal also has very positive impacts on the global economy. Iran and Saudi Arabia are two of the world's largest oil exporters, and the end of this conflict could lead to an increase of oil production, which would benefit the global economy. So as you can see, China has managed to become one of the most influential countries on the world stage today without resorting to military aggression or coercion tactics against other states. Simply by adhering to its policy of non-interference in other countries' affairs and by building strong diplomatic ties with other countries through trade agreements and cultural exchanges, China has been able to show its true commitment to building a community of shared future for mankind.